Hey everybody, welcome to another week of Secret Ponchos, and welcome to our Saturday's Twitch. We have Yusuf, Jarrett, Kaylee, and
Radioactive Man?
Radioactive Man.
Happy Halloween, everybody!
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween.
So what's up, Yus? What's the news today?
Well, I'm ready for playing some Secret Ponchos. Happy Halloween, first of all, everybody. Second of all, we have we wanted to kind of share our strategy with you guys moving forward about player base and all that kind of stuff. So we'll give you guys a sneak kind of preview of our strategy. And a sort of big event we're having on November 16th. And other than that, we have a big patch dropping. Probably in the next couple days. Maybe we wanted to have it ready today, but it just needs a little bit of extra testing. So this new patch, we'll talk about. We'll talk about what's going to happen in it and give you guys a little preview. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
What else have you been working on? We've been working on some tuning too, right?
Oh yeah.
We're not releasing those yet.
Yeah. So that'll be all in the patch stuff. Let's see let's give some shout outs to who we got in the chat already. Let's see, we got
Is there anything?
we got Sir Dukes. Hello. Player 3 with a cowboy hat. Good morning. Land Crew. Good to see you. And Arenas Obscurus. Happy Halloween, SBM. Happy Halloween to you too. Shout to me, Land Crew says. Okay, shout. Ah! That's a shout out, right?
Yeah.
That sounded more like jumping out of an airplane to your death, but
And
yeah, it will hurt.
yeah, so it's been an interesting launch, man. Like we launched Most Wanted Edition. We kind of came out swinging. We got like a pretty good player base going, and then it just started. As soon as it got kind of hidden in the Steam store, things started getting like shrinking. So we have a plan B. We have a big plan to like get the player base jump started. We're and we're gonna be sharing that pretty quick. It's gonna be involving a free week. Everyone's been asking us, can you guys set up a free week? Can you guys set up a free week? I did a Reddit AMA. That was like one of the hot topics. Is people feel if we could do a free week that it'll get the game a lot of exposure. Valve got back to us and said that they'll help us do a free week. So that's amazing.
Awesome news.
Yeah, that's awesome news because it's always sort of been hinging on their involvement. So we don't get the super free weekend we want. Like that would have been the sweetest. Valve has a free weekend where you go on the front page and it forces your game to be installed on everyone's machines and stuff. We don't get that one. That one's for, I guess, if you're I don't know, Call of Duty or something and you want to go free for a weekend, that happens. But we do have a free week, which means we'll be featured on the Valve front page for a day. If it does well, it'll stay on there longer. And during that time, we're also going to launch the game with a sale. So this is the thing that's going to really spike things up. Is imagine the game goes on sale, like a considerable discount. At the same time, there's a free week. So anyone who buys it, they'll see this little timer and be like, oh man, this game is actually fun. I should get it now while it's on sale. And we're hoping that those things together will give a good spike. Sir Dukes wants me to be naked in my my hand wraps for this stream.
I guess I'll watch the documentary.
Yeah.
Kaylee does not.
I think you guys should give me a couple months to rebuild my boxing physique and lose my crunch mode gut. Okay, should we jump in a match?
Sure.
Wait! Before we do that, I just want to say we topped 1,000 followers somehow recently.
Whoa!
Last time we were like at 940. So congrats, guys! 1,000
Yay!
followers.
First milestone.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Agony TV is a new follower. I think they're about to like all start popping up here. Agony TV, thanks for the follow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh.
Looks awesome having 4 digits beside that little heart.
I think it's Chris's radioactive man suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wearing in every frame. Everybody
Why,
can get the
why
guy
didn't you tell me? I could have wore this like years ago.
Chris, imagine what happened if you cut your hair on stream.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, give me concurrent users. We'll make it happen.
What's your number, Chris?
1,000.
Should we do a giveaway to celebrate the 1,000?
Hold on, there's some new followers popping up here. So let's give them some props before we do giveaways. Alquas, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Oh, Tavan Mias.
Tavan Mias 93.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Should we do a giveaway for 1,000?
Do a giveaway.
Darth Cajones. Thanks for the follow. We're actually excited just to have... Oh, another one. Suave Giant. Nice.
Hey, Kaylee?
Very cool names, guys.
You want to do a giveaway because for the 1,000 followers?
Yeah, let's do some giveaways.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we could call up the new follower pop on screen there.
All right.
Can only things. All right, we're going to do a soundtrack raffle here. Give me a couple seconds to get MoveBot ready.
Oh, the Schmull.
Player 3, the cowboy hat keeps asking you how Reddit went.
Okay, I'll talk about Reddit. I'll be honest with you guys. I was very nervous about Reddit. Jepsies, thanks for the follow. Mainly because Jin scared me a lot about Reddit. He's like, those guys are all really mean. And oh, Yamari 31, thanks for the follow. Reddit, I've heard about, people getting torn alive by the Reddit community. Bolel 54, thank you for the follow. Wow, they're pouring in.
Well, I think they're all from when we were off stream, so they all started at the beginning of our stream.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You want me to post the link to the AMA?
Yeah, post a link to the AMA. So what happened was we knew we were going to get some hard questions. Like, we didn't do well on the PS4. The PS4, we tried our hardest with a series of patches to turn things around. And then what we did was like, okay, let's do a major update on the PS4. And we did the hunting grounds, and that didn't turn things around. All those things just slowed down the bleeding, but there were some fundamental problems. Like, we didn't have there's some big problems and we couldn't. We knew we needed to do something bigger, like the Most Wanted edition, to address those. So we actually had to we're at a point where we had to walk away from the PS4 version and put it on hold because trying to stop the bleeding anymore would have compromised. We wouldn't have been able to even launch the PC, and I don't think we would have been able to turn things around on the PS4. It would have just slowed it down. So the best chance to resurrect the PS4 was to make a good PC version, is basically what it came down to, because that's the only way to add more players instead of slowing down the loss of a small pool. I thought we were going to get torn alive about that. What I approached the Reddit, Ask Me Anything, just by being honest. Like, I think we're good people, and we made this game. This was a tough game to make, and we're always making choices that are in the best interest for the game. So I just feel like that's a good thing. So I'll just be honest and address that. And the community was very, I don't know, it was good. It was like, people asked some hard questions, and I just gave honest answers, and I think everything went well. But the one thing that we got asked over and over again was about the free weekend. Why can't we do a free weekend? Why don't we get to... And so I explained on there that it was tough, but we're going to try. And so I think it's going to be really exciting to go back to Reddit now and say, yeah, we're going to actually do it. There is a misconception that our netcode is bad. And our netcode is actually very good. It's very well written. Our netcode is optimized so that even under 250 milliseconds, it plays pretty good. Like, so if you're playing with someone in UK and they have 200 milliseconds, you can actually play the game. The problem is after 300 milliseconds it breaks down. That's normal. Like, games don't really hold up at 300 milliseconds. That's like a lot of latency. So the problem is not the netcode. The problem is we need more players so that the game can choose to put you in. It has better choices and put you in with people it should be putting you in with. So the number one way to combat hitbox issues or combat lag issues is to focus on building the player base. It's not, so I think that that's our number one focus. So the free weekend, we're going to get into some promotions we're doing. We're going to set up an in-game reward system where you guys are going to get rewards and stuff the more free players we can get. So we'll roll that out to you guys too. But let's start the game and then we'll talk a little more.
We're in a threes right now. Waiting for one more person.
Oh, I'm a person.
Start searching.
Okay.
Here comes the draw for
Well,
soundtrack.
Let me check. I think I saw some questions I'll answer while you guys are waiting for a player.
Suave Giant, look at that. He follows us and he wins the soundtrack. Congrats, Suave Giant.
Congrats.
Check your Twitch inbox in about 5 minutes. You should have instructions on how you can go claim your free soundtrack. Trickster, we don't actually use dedicated servers. Everything's P2P.
So Suave Giant is kind of reiterating. Yeah, he's saying the only problem is the small community. Searching takes too long, and you have a high chance of getting with people who live far away. Exactly. So we found if we can keep the game above 200 concurrent users, then you're always going to be searched with people who are close to you, and the searches are going to be very fast. At 100 concurrent users, it's okay, but you start randomly getting put in with some people that maybe you shouldn't be. So we need to do whatever we can to get the concurrent users up way past 200. 200 should be like if there's like a little bar, I would say 200 is green, 150 is yellow, and like 60 or something is red, where it starts getting in the danger zone. We have some big changes coming that we're gonna be implementing in the free week. We're just gonna dial up all the things so that it only matches you with people in your region, but we can only do that when we have enough players, and we're gonna do that during the free week, so everybody has a really good experience and first impression, and we'll just see how things go. Riku Stream is asking, if you go for building a community now, do you think people you get in now will stay long enough? The free week is on November 16th, so we need the community to sort of hold the fort until then, and it's going to be bumpy. Joining the group chat, all that kind of stuff is the right way to go. But we're going to need your guys' help building a campaign so that on the 16th, when we get that free week, there's a splash. And I think even if we did the free week tomorrow, it might not be successful. Like, we might all need to actually be promoting it and pushing it and being like doing a countdown to it and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the plan.
Okay, I'm gonna turn my game volume up again.
Okay.
You got a heal, Tony?
Nope, not yet. Right. There's like a
The one thing I can say on that point is the game is in a really good place too. Like there was a lot of criticism from TV, Total Biscuit, and justifiably so. And we made a lot of big fixes, and I think the perk points and that stuff could have been one of the things that might have pushed new players away. And all that stuff's been fixed too. So I think things like that will also help the new players when they come pouring in. I think there's a lot of positive changes we've made to the game.
Yeah, I wish we... it's kind of a catch-22 because on early access we didn't have a surge of new players. So the feedback we got from the early access crowd was they were very experienced players, so it's from that perspective. When we launched, we got a bunch of perspective from a whole bunch of new players. And so we implemented that. So in a way, it's kind of like, I wish we did that before launch, but we're treating this free week. This is going to be a big... I think during the free week, we're going to see more new players than we've ever seen before, so it's kind of good. We got a bunch of action items from Total Biscuit, of all people, and so we're putting that in the game. We got the perk points in the new patch. We got the move sheet. Like, we basically just made a little TB checklist. I think we should even post that as part of the promotion for the free week. But we're just working our way through the TB checklist. And the last thing the TB checklist has is get more players, devs. So the free week is going to be our... I mean, there's not many things we can do for get more players because that's sort of just like saying become more popular. But there is something we can do is that free week, and that's our big action item for that. Team chat. Someone's asking when's team chat coming. It's not a priority right. Oh, team chat. Voice chat's not a priority. Team chat is something that we are hoping to add. It'll probably be a couple patches down. I don't think it'll be in time for the free week, but I think it'll be one of the first patches after that. Our priority for the free week are things that will make new players match with new players. So we're considering merging unranked and ranked mode, and then dialing up the strictness, because right now we have a bunch of new players playing ranked for some reason and a bunch of new players playing unranked, and then I think we just want to get all these new guys all together.
All right, guys, let's do this.
Okay, I'll stop talking for a bit. Let's see if you guys can win this tie round.
All right. I'm gonna go into the fountain. And Gunman is kind of cut off. You want to try getting him? There you go.
Yeah. Well, watch out for the dynamite. I bounced it off the center.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So
I'm coming. Run. Okay, I'm healing in the church.
I'll be on the other side here.
Mana798 is asking, are we fixing the spectator camera? Mana, what do you mean? A lot of people think the spectator camera is broken, but I don't know if you know this, but if you press R1 on your PS controller or RB on your Xbox controller, you can actually toggle through all the players manually, like you can control it. Did you know about that feature, or do you mean something else?
I think we could definitely improve on it.
A lot of people want it to zoom out, be able to zoom out.
I think
you can
I
see
kind of
the
like to
entire
see. I'd like to see color as well, especially for tournaments and whatnot. If people are following, it's nice to have color. But maybe black and white on the dead player.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
After you switch it once, White Sushi, then I don't think it switches back to the dead characters. I think it only toggles through them if you don't press the button.
Oh, okay. So Amanda was talking about he didn't know about the button. We should have a button prompt, but anyways,
Yeah, we should have.
yeah. The way the death camera works is it just cycles through all the players if you don't do anything. But if you manually press a button, it'll switch to a character and then it'll just keep following that guy. You can manually do it by pressing Tony, is it middle click on the mouse?
Yep.
Middle click on the mouse. Okay. Riku is asking a good question, and Riku has been very involved in the community and building up the game, so I really appreciate Riku's questions because it's coming from a person who really cares about the game growing. Well, everyone does. What I'm worried about is people experiencing negative stuff, hiccups in the game mechanics, lack of motivation to keep on playing because of no rewards for leveling up or getting achievements. I feel that stuff should be in place before promotion. So that's exactly the stuff that's going to be our priority for the free week. So one of the negative things about removing the perk points is that was the primary reward for leveling up. Something we're going to be doing is we're going to be switching it so players get coins. So it'll basically we have to figure out a system, but the idea is that gold coins, barter coins, are going to be distributed as a reward for playing the game a lot. And so that way it's we might not be able to sell as much DLC skins or anything, but that's okay. Player population is our priority. Players can actually feel like they're earning cosmetics by playing, which is great. In terms of hiccups in the mechanics and stuff, that's something we're always looking at. Like you'll see, like the last patch, we fixed like a dozen or so things. This patch, we're fixing a dozen or so things, and we just kind of go through the priority list. And a lot of the hiccups actually are just latency, so building the player base will actually fix a lot of hiccups too. But when these guys are done this match, we can touch base on some of those things. We're making a lot of little changes, and every week the game gets better and better, so tighter and tighter. But if there's particular ones, like the big ones that I see that scare people are Gordo when he throws a Molotov. and the latency of the net makes it feel like it hits you before you can dodge. And Killer's knife, the latency of the net, because it's such a fast-moving weapon, and then your dodge is so fast-moving, and if there's any, even just the time it takes one computer to tell another computer that I evaded, that makes the hitboxes feel super crazy. So we're looking at that as another one. Those are the two biggest ones. Yeah, so White Tiger Chris is asking, what about, what about low frame rate per second? So our game is optimized so that anyone who's got a 3D graphics card from the last 5 or 6 years can play Secret Ponchos. That's the minimum requirement. You do need a dedicated 3D graphics card, a DirectX 11 card. It's not like you need the most cutting edge one. Like I have a Radeon 5870 that I got in 2010, and it runs the game. So it's kind of good that I'm sort of like at the bottom end of the min spec. Tony did some optimizations to the levels to make it run a little bit smoother on the low end ones. But the biggest frame rate complaint we're getting is due to NVIDIA defaults our game not on the proper 3D card, but on the Intel one. And so we talked to NVIDIA, they're going to switch that default. So I would say 80% of the frame rate, when people get mad at us about frame rate, 80% of the issues that we get is because their NVIDIA control panel is saying use the slow graphics card for Secret Ponchos, not their fast one. Once they flip it, they're happy. So we got to get NVIDIA to straighten that out. Because if someone reaches out to me, I can tell them, but I think most people don't know that. What kind of machine do you have? If you're not, you might not have the minimum specs if you're getting 8 frames per second.
Hey, do you want to move your webcam down a little bit? There you
Where'd
go.
everybody go?
Oh, there.
There. Is that better?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it.
It added,
It added noise.
yeah, added the feedback.
Oh, is it still noisy now?
As soon as you touched it.
Is it back?
Was it? It's there. It's there now. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Now
Yeah.
it's really good. There. It's quiet now.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, you know what? It might be the angle of the webcam. You know what I'll do? I'll raise my chair. Can you guys buy more copies of this game so I can buy a better webcam?
Chris, do you get my invite?
It did. Don't know why it didn't come in. One sec.
Firefly asks, so no dedicated servers?
Can you invite me? Oh. Okay. There we go. That's weird.
Dedicated servers won't actually fix the ping. If you have dedicated servers, it's still, your bottleneck is always going to be your players. Dedicated servers will automatically filter out, like say we have a Europe server and a US server, it'll automatically filter those people out. But you're still going to get, I mean, we could do that just by flipping a switch and saying don't match Europeans and US players. I think the real bottleneck causing the ping is the number of players.
Yeah, Firefly. The problem, like when you're referencing Dota has like a 20 million user base. We don't. So it's pretty easy to do efficient matchmaking when you have millions of concurrent users.
I think the free week is our solution for ping, even though it sounds unrelated. Like, the free week is gonna, more players we have, the better it's gonna feed the matchmaking. White Tiger Chris, send us your log of your log file.txt and I'll look at your card and see what's going on. The feedback we've gotten about the graphics settings is being able to toggle stuff on and off. So we are actually doing a patch that will be released pretty soon, and we are seeing a bug where our low quality settings might not be actually doing anything. It might not be actually activating. So, but send us your log file and we'll get that straightened out.
We're in a 3 versus 3, guys. 2 more.
Okay, while we're doing this, I'm going to share the strategy for player base, but we need you guys' help for this. Okay, keep in mind, this isn't all locked in cement yet, locked in stone. We have a tentative approval from Valve, so we just got to get it all like totally solidified. But we want to share this with you guys and be transparent. So on the 16th, we're aiming to have a free week. A free week we're going to combine with a sale, so people are going to see, like, if they enjoy the game, they're going to have an option to buy it at a heavy discount. So that should cause a big spike in players. Something else we're going to do, though, is we're going to make a reward system. So while the game is free, our goal is to get as many concurrent users as we can playing the game. So we are going to set up a reward system that shows what we can do to the. It's like Kickstarter. It's like, you know, Kickstarter. It's like, oh, if we get this many people funding the game, we're going to add this feature. If we get this many, so all you guys have to do is you guys will get rewards, and you don't have to pay money. You just need to play the game. So it's like, if we can get up to 2,000 concurrent users, everyone will get a free skin. If we can get up to, 5,000 concurrent users, these are just fake numbers though, we might be able to add spectator mode. If we can get up to 10,000 concurrent users, we can maybe add a new, add 2 versus 2 in ranked or something like that. So that those are the, if we can get maybe like 10,000 concurrent users, we can make we'll add a new outlaw, and we'll and everyone will get it for free. So these are the kind of reward systems we're going to have. And the good thing is it's community driven, and the game is free. So then we can really get people rallied behind getting their friends to try it out and download the game while it's free and get that concurrent user value up. Yeah, so that's the plan. I think a free week combined with that reward structure is gonna give a lot of tools to get things up. Yeah, 2 rewards.
No.
How's Gunman the lone survivor?
Ha.
Slippery, eh?
Yeah, thanks, White Tiger Chris. I think with the 3 weeks is if everybody get their friends to try it out, and then I think that would be great. Just help us send let everybody know the game is now free and everybody can play it and support us.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, I want to get my friends to give it a shot, but they don't want to drop $15. So this way solves that.
Yeah, and White Sushi, about different ranked players playing each other. Again, that's related. A lot of that's related to the number of players we have concurrently in the game. So when the population's huge, like when we do our free week, we'll be able to sort of target like a system where people of similar rank will play people with similar rank. That's our goal.
But Kale, he means people make a Smurf account and they fight other.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we do have an account tracking system that's used for ranked matches. If it all depends on what we decide in the next couple weeks. If we decide to combine unranked and ranked and just have the user pool in one thing, then what we'll do is we'll just get stricter on matching people based on their total account experience, which will automatically fix any Smurf account kind of mismatches.
How goes the battle? I hear a lot of furious clicking.
Yeah.
It was slow for a bit. Now the chaos has started. It was all when I healed my Gordo.
Whoa, where'd that phantom come from?
Wow, that's heavy. Ah, Tony, I failed you.
Actually, I'm on the other
thought-
team.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Brand flakes in that system that Yusuf was talking about, we wouldn't have it dialed like so that it only matches you to someone that's like extremely close to your rank if there aren't enough players to support it. We would have it in tiers or something like that, so that it's a balance of making sure that we can get matchmaking working well and people get at least somewhat similar skills to play in.
Oh, I was hoping that I got my adrenaline
I put my
shot
perks.
just a little bit after yours.
I put my perks in speed, so I'll be a little bit faster. I'll eventually catch up.
So Brad Flakes is asking a good question. He's says, in other words, I will be in 50-minute queue times not to kill the community. In an angry voice that I read it. I don't know if that's the voice he meant it in, but so yeah, I mean that's true. There always is going to be a conflict between matching people immediately, matching people as quickly as possible, or matching people intelligently, right? And the more players you have, you can do both. But if you don't have players, you have to choose one or the other. During the free week, we're hoping that there will be a lot of players. But during that free week, they're not going to be Deathbringers. There's going to be, but a lot of our population right now is advanced. The thing is, if we don't do that, for a little while, it might feel good. You might have petties to kill, and you might get in matches right away with petties. But if we don't make a change, there won't be any more petties anymore, and then there won't be new players coming in because they'll just be too discouraged. And there won't be new players that start growing and becoming better players. It'll just be like, and the population will just shrink and shrink and shrink. And we kind of saw that on PS4. So the best way to support having a healthy Deathbringer community is by supporting new players, having a good time with the game, and being able to be matched fairly so that they can enjoy it, and then they can learn how to play, and then they can grow into experienced players themselves. And we need a constant flow. It's like circle of life. We need new little babies that grow up into awesome players, and we need to be promoting that. And then there'll be always a healthy pool of experienced players. Now we won't dial it up all the way so it's Deathbringer versus Deathbringer, but I think probably what makes sense is mid-tier opponents and high-tier opponents can fight each other, but keeping casual people, keeping new players completely protected from that is probably the best way.
Hey, Tony?
Yo.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, I left.
It is a tricky situation we're in. I mean these are all tough problems, and so we appreciate you guys' feedback and input too. We just want to be honest on giving you guys a perspective on how we see the problem, and then what's the best way to tackle it. But fundamentally, the biggest problem just is that we made a really cool game, and it's in a really tough space where you need a lot of marketing muscle. You need to come into this space with 100,000 users. Like Overwatch hasn't even launched yet, and I bet you they have, even before they started their beta, I bet you they had like 200,000 concurrent users ready to go just because of their name and stuff. So I mean, we're building up from square one. So the question is really, is there room for indie companies to make innovative new games and stuff in the PvP space, or is it only going to be giants, in there? And we hope we can figure out a way to do this and build up. Yeah, Missing Bird is saying a good question. Maybe force petties to play in unranked until they hit outlaw. That is another solution we're looking at.
I got in my own lobby, Tony.
Oh, weird. I am with Dobbler.
Chris, do you remember when me and you played against like top players in Soul Calibur? How excited we were?
Mm-hmm.
I think that at Secret Poncho's core, the people who like this game are the ones who like a challenge and get addicted to the feeling of getting better. You know, so those guys are probably you. Like those guys are probably, because Secret Ponchos is a game where your skills matter. If you're in a match with someone awesome, they mop up the floor with you. You see that and you're like, wow, I want to get better. So if I played Street Fighter and I played against Justin Wong, I'd be super stoked. I'd be like, oh my god, I'm fighting the world champion Street Fighter player. I think the thing you got to realize is that the game does that now, and you guys are there, but that's not reflective of the entire population. I don't think the majority of the population, I don't think that flies with them. So if we want to make the game have a better experience and we want to grow the player base, we need to, not expect them to suck it up and just be excited about fighting a really good guy and getting their ass handed to them. Though that I get excited about that stuff. I like it. I agree with you guys.
Alright, we got the game going. Some weirdness in the...
Well, Jin's a trapper. Yep. Yeah, this will be a trapper battle.
Well, that trap.
Watch out for them traps.
So what's going on in the match, guys?
Just starting.
Yeah.
Round one!
There was some trapper trash talk in the chat, so a couple trappers are in to show what's what.
Oh, I chose trapper before that. all about trapper.
Alright, we...
You must smell so good.
Better than Gordo?
Yeah.
The fur
Gordo
keeps
smells like gasoline and booze. Trapper smells like moose farts. Oh, I could use some health.
I just healed you.
Did you?
Yeah. You...
That's very generous of you.
Yeah. No more heal.
We're all just about dead.
Team dead over here.
Oh, nice toss. Oh,
Gunman's
we all
cleaning up.
die at the same time.
Should we weaken them at all?
They're weaker.
We gave him a false sense of confidence.
Oh my god, that mark just destroyed me. I'm coming. Chris, you need help?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get your trapper.
We're gonna get dominated here, guys. Can you kill one of them so I can come out of hiding?
Manas is asking about a free-to-play model. Free-to-play is a possibility where the first thing we're looking at is we're doing a free week of the game. And the free week is going to be a good test run of like how this game does when it is free. If it is successful, then we don't want to just make the game free to play and burn all the players that bought it. So probably what we'll do, if we ever took that road, if being free helps things a lot in that free week, then what we'll add is a free to play version of the game. We could look at this, where it's a smaller subset of the game, and people can play it for free, or they can upgrade to the full and have all the characters and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, we need to look at more in-depth look at what that model looks like. But the first step is let's do this free week and discount the full version of the game and see how this goes. And I will be back in 1 second, and then I want to get in some matches if you guys want to.
Well, we got this short last match. What the hell, guys?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I want to talk about the tuning stuff. I just hear some my kid home, so I just want to quickly go say hi, and I'll be right back.
Mana 798. We won't split the community because I don't think we'll do anything that would isolate the search. If we do a free-to-play model, everybody will have the same access to the full game, but maybe not the characters or something that they have to unlock. So, yeah, it won't split the population.
And there won't be any P to W, don't worry.
Yeah, we don't believe in that. That's why we're so hesitant on even talking about doing a free-to-play version. So, we're not about buying power-ups to win.
Arenas Obscurus, what do you mean as long as they can't still face paid outlaws? What would be the problem with the...
No, that's what he wants.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, we agree.
Oh, Jarrett, your trap murdered me.
Yeah, we do need to make money. It's true, Firefly. We're also accepting donations.
Hello, I'm back.
You need heal, Jarrett? You were there for a while.
Yeah, you know, if we like, let's just pretend. Let's just talk here. Let's pretend we did a free-to-play model. We'd for sure want to make sure that I mean that we need a way. You guys all want us to be able to support the game, so we need a way to be able to generate revenue so that we can keep supporting the game. Or if we keep selling the game, we need to have a way that we're generating revenue to support the game. So either way, that's the problem. We just need to. We want to keep expanding it. You guys want us to keep expanding. We got to find a way that we can do that. So if we went free to play, we'd probably, for sure, keep all the maps open and all the modes open so that it's not fragmenting the community. We for sure want to. I mean, if you say you got the game and there was like 4 characters, it's still a very good value for the people that bought the game and got all 10. So I mean, that's probably what we would recommend. Is we'd probably make some kind of premium pack and we would up, you know, and the people that bought this game for $14.99 just have all that stuff all built in. And then I think it would be a good way for people to play the game, get into their characters, and then they might just want more and they can maybe buy more characters or buy the full pack. This is a hypothetical. Let's see how this free week goes. Definitely, I mean, even free to play is a little bit scary because there's so many. Free to play is so competitive, and you get it for free. It really needs to have that player base either way. So. Arenas Obscurus is saying it's still a buy game with a free-to-play option. Yeah, I think that's something we're like. What we don't want to do is make the game free to play completely and just have like microtransactions everywhere and double experience and all that kind of like that stuff just creeps us out, and that's not what we wanted to make. So I think we would just think of it more like content, like skins and characters. If you want more content, then you can buy it, or you can just buy the full version or something. So so guys, we're looking at the reward system right now. What kind of rewards would you guys want to see in the game for our free week? So we're thinking we can give skins for free as certain tiers. If we hit landmarks, we can give like 200 barter coins, and you can unlock any skin you want. Another reward we're thinking is currently you can't buy remorse skins with barter coins. That's to support the devs thing only. As one of the reward tiers, we might make it so that we can unlock those for everybody. Spectator mode is something we really want to add to the game, but we need the game to have a certain amount of success before we can add it. That's one of the things that I would love to have, you know? And we have drawings for a very cool new character. I would love to make that character, and that's something that we need the game to have a little bit of success for before we can commit to building. So I think if we can have enough current users, we can kind of jump in that. So, those are the ones that we're thinking. Tony, did you think of anything? Oh yeah, and one of the reward tiers is Chris is going to add a bunch of new music tracks to the game.
Everybody wants golden guns.
Yeah, it's not the first time I've heard it either.
Yeah.
I can look at golden guns. Golden guns sound easy to do because it's easy to make a golden gun, but we don't have a system. All those other things are creating content within systems we have. We'd have to build a new system for swapping weapons and stuff, but it's possible. I don't know. We can look at that. Unforgiven Few. Chris has a full version of Unforgiven Few. We'll definitely roll that out the free week.
Arenas is asking about a King of the Hill mode. I think that'd be a ton of fun.
If the game is successful enough, we can add anything. Like, we can add a new mode like that. If the game is super successful, we could even add like modding and stuff like that in the long-term scope of the game, like being, you know, or Steam Workshop or that kind of stuff. But those are like big goals, you know. Let's say like the free week took off, and all of a sudden we have like tens of thousands of players, and people are buying skins and stuff, and then we're able to like fund production. Then those are things we would love to do.
Okay, Pepper, can you come near the house? There you go.
Dotas are like crazy because the game is free for everybody, but then you want a skin, and it's like, how much are Dota skins? Like, sometimes they're like $12, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like the price of our game.
It's just for like one skin. It's so weird.
Into your fire, Gordo.
Was Dota the first one like that? I never played the first Dota.
The first
Like,
one. Sorry.
League of Legends, a new character is sometimes like $8 or $9. Is that right, Tony?
Yeah, they they go from yeah, about.
I've seen them for $5.
No, those are the like
Old
new guys. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they start out when an Outlaw first comes out, or Champion. They're priced really high, and a bunch
they're
of
like
people
$12. Yeah.
and then they keep dropping in price. And then, well, I mean, we took a model where we just included all of our characters that we had built. We didn't hold back any for that stuff. I mean, yeah, I mean, if we wanted to go free to play, we probably would have launched with 5 guys or 4 guys, and then we would have just made all those guys, held them back a little bit, and then released them one a month and charged $10 for them, and it would have been a different way to go. It would have, in the end, it would have costed customers a lot more to have all the characters, but it might have gotten a lot of like people into the game who don't want to spend any money.
It's always been a weird perception problem we've had, right? Like we see this game as like a full game that we're delivering to people at a price. Like if you buy Street Fighter, you get a whole bunch of characters. You don't just get a few and then you have to buy a whole bunch. And that's kind of how we approached this game. Was like we want to just give everybody a full game, and then there can be a little extra stuff here and there. And then,
Yeah,
but a lot of people associate our game with other games. And,
Yeah, and it's funny, Keely, that this model, I mean, obviously the way we want the world to be, where you just buy a game for $15 and you have all this stuff, I think that model, it's just not, like, it's not realistic anymore. I think, like, everything is...
a one-player game.
Yeah, like single player
It's a
and
single player game.
yeah, it's crazy. So you need to kind of get into that, I guess, the greasy free to play world, and make people feel like it's free, and then somehow try and get their money, which is something we always wanted to avoid. But I think that a lot of big games in the last 5 years, the MOBAs have pushed the market into that direction. It's really interesting. I hope the single player doesn't go that direction. I really like buying a game like Limbo for like $15 and just having it and not being like sold stuff, you know?
Yeah, like imagine if Limbo you could only go halfway, and then you had to buy additional levels to see the full story unfold or something. It'd be terrible.
Or if you had to buy abilities to pull traps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we're just from a previous generation. I don't mind buying a game, but I don't want to have my consumer defenses up when I buy a game.
Everything in the world now, though, is free to start and then get gouged later.
Well, unless you're buying a premium like AAA game, right? Like
Oh, I wasn't even talking about games, though. I'm talking about like cars and houses and phones. It's always free, and then
costumes,
yeah,
Radioactive Man costumes.
It's just culture, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
People
like
are
when I-
used to now. You don't pay anything up front, you get it, and then you pay in the back end, and then it doesn't feel like you paid as much, but you probably end up paying more.
Yeah, when we
Oh,
got
nice work.
Yeah, what's up, Jim?
Nice work.
a car, they don't even give you floor mats or anything, right?
Yeah.
It's their own DLC.
The DLC issue for premium games is interesting. Like I see Firefly saying $60 for a game and $15 for DLC. I don't really hate DLC if that $60 gets you really good value. I think it's okay to add more stuff to your game. As long as you're not locking people into like a bad experience and then charging them for. It's all about building expectations, I think.
I'm using Kit Red, by the way.
What's this work?
Okay, guys, should we talk patch notes?
Yeah,
This is gonna be a scary. Gonna get a lot of.
it can't be any scarier than what we just talked about.
Anytime, I'm gonna start with this.
Hey, it's the Halloween special. It's a pretty spooky show.
Yeah.
Spooktacular.
Anytime we change a character, there's like a tidal wave of mixed opinions on stuff. Like, if you use that character, you know, like, okay, pretty much every day I get reports that every character is OP.
They are.
Yeah, they're all OP.
All of them.
And people are passionate. They're like, you have to nerf Kid Red. He's OP. You have to nerf. And then some of that Kid Red guy's like, you have to nerf Gordo. He's OP. And then the Gordo guy's like, man, I can't even win fights with Gordo. You have to nerf Wolf. She's OP. And this is the reality. This is what we see on our side of the fence, right? And the reality is, each player, each outlaw has its own vulnerabilities and weaknesses, and each player has your own style, the way that you fight. And I know this from my time boxing. Same thing happens with me. Like, the way I fight, certain styles of fighting are going to give me trouble, you know? And then if you layer on top of that outlaws and stuff, it's just so, you're always going to feel, and that's why everybody feels a different guy's OP all the time. It just has to do with you, and how your success is how well you can adapt. So now the reality is, on top of it, there's a layer of mechanics. You know, how well are these guys balanced? So what we do is we look at all the red flags that you guys send to us, and we read them all. But then we also see all of them coming at once, and it's like a crazy spam of everyone's OP. And then what we do is we evaluate each thing. We also look at data. Like, so we look at our own play experience, and luckily on the team we all try and play different outlaws, and we brought in some people from the community that play different outlaws too, to give us feedback. And then what we also do is we look at the leaderboards, and we look at the top 50
Switch up
people,
line.
and we make sure that all the outlaws are represented. If all the outlaws are represented, then it means at least they're all viable to become like competitive. Then what we do is we look at a deeper layer of data, and that layer of data shows us matches. What is the win-loss ratio of an outlaw? At 10 to 20 matches, what is the win-loss ratio of an outlaw? So we can see sometimes that outlaws are really, they lose a lot in the beginning, but then when you learn how to use them, they're really effective. So in that case, buffing that outlaw might be a bad thing to do because it's just a learning curve. If we buff it so that the new guys are comfortable with it, then at the high level, that character is going to be way too OP. So we can't always just take everyone's feedback one-to-one. If we listen to it, we have to pull through all the data. So that's basically our thought process, in case you guys are wondering. So now when we look at the data, this is what we see. We see that Gordo, across the board, is stronger than other characters. So at a low level, when people first start playing, Gordo wins matches like 20% more than any other outlaw because he's easy to use. At high levels, Gordo wins maybe like 7% more than other outlaws. So Gordo gets more he is not that imbalanced, but he's definitely easier to learn. But then he is a little bit stronger still, so we need to bring him down a touch. Deserter is the same way. He's above. Now Deserter is kind of the reverse. Deserter, when you first start using him, he's not that strong. When you get really good with him, he takes a big lead. Matador is under on all levels, so even pro players are under, but it's closer. But then definitely at the beginning, she's way under. So we know that she's just hard to use. We don't need to buffer for the beginning players, but we want to buffer for end players. Wolf, we thought Wolf was going to be OP because we were getting but once we fixed a couple bugs in her, we actually see that she's pretty good, but she definitely has a learning curve. Like when a new player starts with Wolf, they can't hit anything, so they feel that she sucks. But then good players land crits, and then those crits help balance her out. And Killer is slightly above average across the whole board, so maybe like 50% average. And Phantom is dead on. Killer is dead on. Gunman is actually he's dead on average. He kind of goes like this, like waves, and same with Mad Trapper. Did I miss anybody, Chris?
I was kind of
fighting,
trying not to die.
Okay, so we're looking at the characters, and for Deserter, we're looking at, okay, well, we need to give this guy a vulnerability. What is the most logical vulnerability? And
oh, Kid Red, that's what you didn't say.
Yeah, Kid Red is perfectly on average, so he's like the most balanced of all of the guys. And same with Phantom. So with Deserter, what we're doing, we spend a lot of work doing this and we're testing it carefully, is we want Deserter's vulnerability to be mobility. When we look at all of their mobility, like Killer is a low mobility character. Gordo was a high mobility character a couple weeks ago. He should be low mobility, but he had some bugs that were making him high. And Deserter is a character who should be low mobility, but Deserter should have a couple emergency like aces up his sleeve where he can use his adrenaline and become high mobility temporarily. But I think right now, just the cooldowns and all that stuff make him, very high mobility. So yeah, we're making some adjustments there. With Deserter, we wanted to keep we noticed that people were spamming his evade to always body check people, and we've been getting complaints to remove the body check move, and we don't want to do that. That's like a fundamental thing that we love about the character that makes him unique, is that he can body check people with his evade. But we do want it to not be spammable. So when we look at it, the solution actually we decided to go with was keeping him have 3 stamina units, but making him more like Killer, where his stamina regenerates slower. So once he uses those, he has to go take cover or something to regenerate it. So Deserter does have a little bit of mobility, but once he uses that up, once he plays that hand, he's a lower mobility character. Okay. All of these changes, we're testing a lot, but once we put it out there, you guys are going to probably first feel like it's different and have a weird feeling. All we ask is just give it a shot, get used to it, then we'll, because that's what it's for. It's not the initial reaction, it's after you adjust. Think of it like you're a new player. Deserter had a bug where his snipe wasn't stunning you. So if you notice when you stun people, they can actually slide around. That's a bug. When we fixed that bug, Deserter's snipe got way more powerful. Because now he stuns people like he's supposed to when they're coming at him. So I think these nerfs to his mobility are going to help counteract that. Deserter has a exploit where he can like impale you over and over and over against the wall. So we've increased the charge time a little bit on his impale move so that can't happen. Which that just kind of promotes some just crazy play that we don't want to support. So Gordo, we gave Gordo some nerfs last time. Like we fixed the bug where he was running at top speed all the time, so now he has to accelerate each time. So that fixes his mobility. Gordo's down to a low mobility character, which is good. Gordo's slam move being repeated over and over and over. We put in a patch last week where there's a cooldown on it. That's great. This week we're keeping that. We're dialing up that cooldown a little bit more, but now we're dialing down. Gordo gets stuck in place after he slams. We're giving Gordo a little bit of mobility after he slams. So once Gordo slams, he can move around a little bit and he can do things, which is going to help him with that slam. Basically, we're making it so you can slam less often, but when you slam, it has better value. So it's not really a nerf or a buff. It's both for Gordo. It just makes his move more useful. For Gordo, one of the problems people have fighting Gordo is that when he throws the Molotov, they don't have a chance to evade because of the latency. It feels like you take damage before the fire grows. So we added a small delay from the time it hits to the time you get burned. So if you evade immediately, you should get out of there. To compensate for that, though, we've made it so that if you stay in the fire or Gordo gets you in the fire, you're going to take damage quicker. So the fire is going to burn you more if you're in it, but now you're not just going to get a free shot. Like, you actually have to get the player in it. Those are pretty much the big changes. With Gordo, there's one other change we made, is we made his Gatling accelerate. So it doesn't start out at full speed, like brrr, like that. It goes like pop, 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 and then it goes to full speed. So it actually feels like a Gatling. That's something we've been asked over and over. We first put it in testing and it felt really gross and it didn't feel good. And we started doing some refinements. To compensate for that, we've added more damage per bullet on Gordo, but now he has to accelerate to get it going. So what that does is it actually creates more of a skill. A good Gordo can now try and he has another layer of skill ceiling. A good Gordo can get you in a full blast stream, whereas a bad Gordo can't. And what that does is it helps balance, keeps good Gordos up high, but then crappy Gordos don't automatically start super awesome. Crappy Gordos now have some skills that they need to learn. So that's it. Like, feel free to attack us in the chat. Let's hear what you guys. Hopefully, us providing the rationale for all these things show you guys that the reasons behind stuff. So, yeah, let's hear it.
Let's get back together here.
Alright, I'm gonna...
There's a killer up top here, he's just hucking his knife down
Kid
there.
Red is weak.
Dead. Let's go get the killer.
Oh, sorry.
After you guys lose this match, we'll
Hey.
do a raffle.
We're winning. We're gonna dominate.
I know.
Oh, that's what I forgot. Player 3 is asking, how are Warmongers? Warmonger is, we found under on all the levels. So, I think that
right?
Because I'm not playing him.
Warmonger was weak and needed some buffs. So, actually, there was some changes we made to Warmonger. One of the things we looked at was he throws the tomahawks, and they have quite a long travel time. They have about half a second from the time you press the button to the time they hit the target. So that means the player has to super carefully try and hit the shots. What we've done is I sped up that projectile time, so it's a little bit more intuitive to hit shots now. Like, so Warmonger should. I don't know if that's going to take Warmonger all the way, or if that's going to go past. So, but that's definitely going to give Warmonger a little bit more intuitiveness for aiming. So that's going to go in, and we'll see how that goes.
It feels a lot better, guys. Compared to what I'm playing right now, the updated Tomahawk Pro it feels really instant and nice.
Did you guys win or lose that match?
Win.
We dominated.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No code for you guys.
I
I'll do a
love
rapid
I love
fire.
Gordo in the mines. Just trying to separate the other team with Molotovs. Like somebody tries to flank, you can just kind of like keep them off on the side while the other two have to battle three.
Suave Giant's asking, will we add mouse controls in menus? Yeah, there's somebody working on that. There's a lot of menus in Secret Ponchos, and unfortunately, we can't just release it in some menus and not in others. So we have to go through them all one by one and add mouse support to each one. So it's a big job, and when it's done, we'll drop it in. But there is somebody working on that.
Somebody.
Congrats, Respawny.
Respawny.
Check your inbox on Twitch in about 3 minutes here. I should have a key for a soundtrack.
So Manas is asking if we could make Matadors execute instant instead of charged.
What do you think?
Press A to win.
Yeah. It would be Matador versus Matadors every game.
Matadors. So the player's probably reacting to the Matadors execute is hard to do, and it feels almost impossible. But the thing is, if you do it, it's just dead. Like even a full health deserter is just dead, and it's the only move like that. So we need to keep that move super hard to do. I think that what we need to do to make Matador a little bit stronger is not make that move easier to do, but I think some of the other things that might hold her back, like some of her other tools in her toolkit, might need to be loosened up a little bit. Like right now we have a double penalty on the pounce. Like when you pounce, if you miss, you're in a vulnerable position for a long time. Like there's a penalty on it, and it costs a stamina unit, so we have to evaluate that. The reason we have both of those things is there was different exploits being used, like being able to like evade and pounce and evade and pounce and evade and pounce all the way across the map, and like it was just like little things like that. By fixing those things, we put her in a position where she was basically getting a little bit too punished with her pounce stuff. So we have to look at what the best way to make the pounce easier without reintroducing all those things is. So that's something we're looking at. We tried. We also tried moving her stamina from her blind to give her more stamina to do sword slashes and stuff, and that actually caused an increase in Matador's success. So we're just measuring that right now to see. I don't think it's going to take her all the way to where she needs to be, but it definitely brought her a lot better. So yeah, basically each of the time we increase Matador's toolkit a little bit, she gets closer and closer. So, but we don't want to make the execute easy to do, because it'll just be like, that's all you'll see, and you won't see any of her other moves.
Hey, gamer husband. We told Chris it was black tie today. That's what you showed up in.
So if anyone didn't tune in to the beginning of the stream, this is our dev stream. Welcome here. We are doing a free week. Like that's something that we made an awesome game. This is what we learned from launch. We have an awesome game. We had some adjustments to make the game even a little bit more friendly for new players, and we had some adjustments to make the game friendly for competitive players, like with the perks and stuff. We're doing all those kind of things, and now one of the biggest challenges we have is player population nightmare, because we have to hit this critical mass before the game is playable, and it's been really clear that people want a free week of the game. So we've been always supportive of this idea. We've made a case with Valve, and I think we're going to get a free week. So that's going to be November 16th if everything goes well. We're going to keep you guys posted. The free week, we're going to add an incentive program, reward program. So the more free players that we can get, the more features we can commit to adding, like new outlaws, that kind of stuff. And we're going to need every single person in this game hyping that free week, because that free week is going to determine if this game lives or dies. So let's all get behind it. But the good news is it's free. It's going to be free that week. There's going to be a heavy discount if people like the game, they can buy it, and then from there we can assess what the future of the game is going to be. What's a top player free week?
Oh, man, that was awesome.
Murder.
That was Jin, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. Oh, that makes it feel even better. I'm coming.
More flames. Sorry.
Riku, so one of the things we want to do in 3v3 to make Matador stronger is we're going to increase the range of her blind a little bit. So it's a little bit more, but we still don't want it to be something, we don't want Matador to be able to blind, and just do a chain reaction of blinds, like across the whole screen. So I think we want to make it so if she sees the group together, she can get in there and blind them all. And to do that, though, we have to kind of give it a little bit more range on the move. So that's probably how we're going to address your feedback there. Yeah, guys, this has been an underdog game from the very beginning. Making this game, making a competitive fighting game was like Little Mac fighting Mike Tyson, like the whole time, and I'm really proud that we did it. As soon as we're out of those gates, we realize, oh man, getting players now is like the same thing. It's like Blizzard, Dota, those games have huge communities that they can apply to when they launch Overwatch day one. There's going to be tens of thousands of concurrent players. So we're in the same position where now we're not just making the game, we were an underdog, but now getting the game exposure, we're an underdog too. So that we're going to really need community help on this. Otherwise, we're going to end up in a situation where we made an awesome game, but it could never really see its potential with its matchmaking and all that stuff because there wasn't enough players. So the free week is us basically throwing in everything we have, and we're going to need you guys' help to push it, and we're going to set up an awesome reward system and an awesome discount and everything. So yeah, let's do that.
Oh, nice chain stun on me.
Keely, do you have anything to add to that? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, it sounded bang on.
Stufu, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I really hope, I mean, our dream is that we just want to go back to just focusing on development and making cool outlaws and stuff. Right now is a little bit scary for us because we're like, oh man, we got to focus every day. We're just focused on community and players and stuff. And at night, late at night, we're working on the game as much as we can. And I would love to just, if this free week, if with this reward system, we boom the population and then we can just focus in the daytime on just like making new content and stuff. That would be so awesome. Because that's what we do best. We are going to show you guys the concept of the new outlaw that we're hoping to make, and that's going to be basically the reward for if we can be successful with the free week. So we're going to roll that out pretty soon, not this week, but pretty soon, and you guys are going to love this outlaw. I'll say her. You guys are going to love her.
She's pretty cool.
She's
Eric Ryan, the free week will be mid-October, mid-November.
Ooh, iPop's very salty today.
yeah. What is that? Thanks to the big FU to your fans mean?
Oh, he's a PlayStation 4 player, and he's been waiting for an update from.
Yeah. Do you know what we're doing? Like the whole. No, that's totally unfair, dude. So like, we put in so much to the PS4 in terms of updates and a hunting ground to turn things around, and it didn't work. The PS4 community just didn't we were only slowing down the bleeding, we weren't growing it. This whole most wanted edition is the whole game's best chance at success. So if this is successful, then the PS4 gets an update. Like that, then this basically you need to stop thinking of the game as PS4 or PC because it's unfair. We're making a game, and the most wanted edition. This is the game's chance to progress as a game. If it's successful, all these changes go back to PS4 as well as PC. If we didn't do this, then we would have just had to pack it in based on the PS4. So this is us trying to make the game progress, and if the game progresses, it will progress on PS4. So I think what's in the best interest of PS4 users is we all roads lead to this version needing to be successful, you know. And if this is successful, this is what's good for PS4 users, and we're putting everything we have into making this successful. So I mean that's the situation. You have to remember we did do a bunch of patches on PS4, and we did do the hunting grounds, and we just weren't able to turn things around. So I think creating a large-scale update for PS4 is the best way to attract new players to it, and that's basically we had to kind of hit the drawing board, build up an expansion that introduces a whole bunch of new outlaws, a whole bunch of like AI bots and all that stuff. So this expansion is the PS4's best chance at actually resurrecting. It isn't tiny little incremental updates.
That wolf is so accurate of an arrow. That's crazy.
Nerfer.
Who was it?
Oh, and Lamin, I think it's Rico. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
And Sir Dukes is in there too. That's not helping our situation.
And Rico and Brandon, you guys, thanks a lot for all the streaming you've been doing. We noticed and really appreciate it. It's a good way to help us and help spread the love of the game. Swab, no, we're not going to be showing her this stream. You have to stay tuned.
The bear. Yeah, she's a big bear.
She-bear.
She-bear.
Her special power is that you can ride on her.
It's the new character a French made.
Yeah, you wish.
It's radioactive, man.
Yeah, in it, we do have to go.
That's the big. Radioactive.
Ta-da!
That's the concept right there.
So there's some good guesses. So just to confirm, guys, we don't actually have the tools or the resources right now to build the new character. This is if this whole free week is successful. So that's one of the rewards for it. But we do have the concept for her ready to go, and we have a really sweet one. So and I think the free week will be successful if the whole community gets behind it. It'll be successful because it's free, and that should bring a lot of players in. Okay, so the guesses are a lumberjack, a ronin, a bear, and a French maid.
Let's mix them all together.
Yeah.
A bear.
Still thinks it's spiffy with a rabbit.
Hey, Rico stream. Rico and like Kuro and the Blandflix, a bunch of guys actually are trying to host a tournament, and they've been working on a video to promote the tournament. Kudo's working on that. They're asking if it's good to reschedule after the free weekend or during the free weekend. So there's a tournament while there's new player coming in, and they can see the high level games, I guess, during that tournament.
I think that any streaming or promotional activity we can do during that free week is better. It'll have a higher impact because if people watch your stream and they're like, this game is free right now, I'm going to go check it out, that's so much better than if you do a stream and people are like, oh, that game's $15, that looks cool, but I don't know if I want to try it. I want to wait, you know? So I think any of you that are streamers or whatever, if you can stream during that free week, or that will be huge, because you can tell all your audience, go get this game right now, it's free. And you can all of a sudden spike it 60 downloads, like just by saying that, you know? So I think it's going to be crazy. I think that streaming will get exponentially more powerful during the free week.
Same thing with the tournament, I think. If you can hold the tournament, because the tournament's like a perfect time to stream something. Like, it's a perfect kind of event to stream. So if you guys can like stream the tournament during that week, I think that'd be an awesome thing to help build hype. Because tournaments really show off the competitive nature of the game too. So I think if you guys can time it to happen sometime during that week, that'd be amazing.
I think, and it's a unique opportunity for streamers because the game is free. There'll be a lot more eyeballs on the game, so I think that it might be it'll just hopefully be a more valuable time even for them to stream in terms of viewership and stuff. But.
And on our forums, there's actually Kaylee implemented this thing where if you stream, people on the forum can watch, can know that you're online. So that's another, join the forums and post on that place when you're streaming to get people excited about the game.
Yeah, you can add your Twitch stream right to there's like a whole Twitch stream window. You can add your stream to it.
Riku's asking if there's going to be a observer function. Observer function is one of the rewards we're adding after, like, it's one of the reward tiers. It's one of the top features we want to add to the game, but we need the game to be we need the game to be a little more successful before we can commit to it, because it's like a big job.
And I'm sure we have tossed out copies of the games to tons of streamers and YouTubers and stuff like that. But we'll be reaching out again right before our big event to see if we can engage some of those guys to, get involved, because it'll be a hype thing. There'll be lots of stuff happening. What we have done in the past for tournaments, obviously we don't have a spectator mode, is we'll do like a 3v3, and this is something the PS4 guys did and we learned from them. We'll do like a 3v3, but it's actually a 2v2, like 2 teams of 2, and then the spectators are basically referees, so the third player on each team is, you just sort of follow the action and show what's happening.
That's our like lame makeshift version, pretend version of spectator mode. Yeah, but I mean, the fact that we were doing that showed us that, man, we should really add a spectator mode. It'd be so sweet.
Oh my god.
Chris, how important do you think spectator mode is compared to like content?
I don't know. I mean, people seem to enjoy watching, like, if you take Twitch, for example. People seem to enjoy watching gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's probably bigger than I would think off the top of my head.
Spectator mode is interesting because it takes a lot of resources to build it, and most people aren't going to use it.
Mm-hmm.
But when people use it, it creates a high visibility around the game. Like, so if we had a tournament or like a cup or like a competitive event, you can't really do that without a spectator mode, right? And then those might create a lot of visibility on the game. So I'm trying to weigh this. I'm like, man.
Unless it's, but I mean, big events are going to get streamed probably though too, right? So then is that the solution without having to put the...
So say there's like a tournament and there's a big tournament. The only people who could stream it are the ones who are playing.
Right. Yeah.
What if we add 2 slots into private mode that are spectators, and so
that's what we're talking about. That's
but they're just invisible characters.
No, that's
just have the debug or the. I know what you're saying.
that's a spectator mode that we want to add.
No, I know what you're saying, but I mean, there's also the spectator mode where you could search for games that are going and join in. Watch them there too, right?
That's out of our scope. I think we're talking about the one you're talking about. The ability to
host an empty slot.
Yeah, the ability for someone to go in an empty
I know
slot.
that's the simple version of it, right?
Yeah, that's the one we're talking about adding.
A live game and follow.
Does the community people in the chat knows about the broadcast? Because I know that when you're playing game, you can broadcast your game. Is it laggy? Does it really mess up with the ping and stuff, or is it pretty fast? Because I know streaming it really takes a toll on your computer. I don't know if the broadcast is the same. It's 12, and let's play one more game. Kaylee, if we win, we can do a raffle, okay?
Alright.
Alright.
If you lose, we can do a raffle too.
So before you guys get in, I'm just going to do a quick recap for everybody. So right now we did our launch. We're reacting to all the fixes and upgrades so that competitive players are on the. We did the even playing field patch. Now we're doing some adjustments to help keep new players all together in preparation. And the next big thing we have to do is our free week. And that's going to be, we're targeting November 16th. The free week is going to have a huge reward tier thing and a huge discount at the same time. And our goal, everyone's goal needs to be get as many people playing the free week as possible. So that will dictate the future of the game. But the good news is it's free, so it should be really easy to get people in the game to check it out. And we're going to just make the best impression we can. And we're just going to go all guns blazing in that free week.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got to get our entire community. I think we have like what 30,000 Secret Ponchos players in the game or something. We need if we even just get all of them to start playing at the free week, that's gonna blow away all the goals. You know, if we that's not even with any free players. So if we get our community together, everything's gonna work. If we get a third of those guys and we get a ton of new players from the free week, then that's great. You know, so this can work, but we definitely need everybody pushing the free week. If you like the game, stream it. Talk about the free week, post it on your Facebook or Twitter. We're going to hold off a little bit. Once we start pushing out assets, that's probably the best thing to do. And just tell your friends, get on this game, it's really fun. If it's free and they don't check it out, then there's no excuse.
Yeah, there's no excuse. Everybody's mission is to get 10 friends to play. And if they get 10 friends, and they get 10 friends, 2 million users!
This is our Amway strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pyramid scam. We're building a Poncho pyramid.
Offering rewards for current users that are friends.
Yeah.
Who you got in your last match?
Alright, let's win this, boys!
Okay.
Who are you playing against, Tony?
We're playing against... I can't see it.
Gamer husband with kids.
Oh, they're moving too much, I can't.
Doesn't have 10 friends, but he's got a wife and 2 kids, at least, a minimum, because it's plural. So
Yeah, you've probably got your parents.
Get them on.
Get your parents.
Yeah, get your mom on
Get
here.
your wife's parents. Yeah.
Your mom, your dad. That's
Coming.
5.
Oh, shiny.
He just chopped me down.
Yeah, like a tree.
Hard. Yeah.
Character updates are not coming out today. We need a little bit... we're adding bots to private mode, and there's a couple bugs with that, and so we want to fix that first. So that's what the holdup is. But I mean, that's like actually a cool feature, adding bots to private mode. Sir Duke's classing it up in there.
Man, you guys played a lot of Saloon today.
It means we want to get
You're
drunk.
voting Saloon?
Oh, I forgot, guys. In the patch we're adding, posse mode is taken out of random. So you guys can still play posse mode, but you need to vote
You
for
have
it.
to vote for it.
Yeah, and we realized too many people don't know what posse mode is and they don't really know how to play it. And then when people don't know what they're doing, it just ruins the mode. So I think this way people will vote for it only if they want to play it and they know what they're doing.
So we're getting dominated, guys. Can we turn this around?
So Riku is saying on behalf of the competitive players, they want the spectator mode camera thingy, and yeah. So I mean, we're totally listening. Like we're on the same page. You mentioned that this is one of our big features we want to add. So if you guys want this to happen, promote the free week. The free week is the key to that thing happening, and that's going to be one of the rewards for concurrent players. PS4 players, one of the results of this PC launch being successful is that it'll give us the tools to upgrade to take another stab at PS4, because right now PS4 we weren't able to sustain. It was just like we were losing a lot with all the updates we've been putting in, and it wasn't turning anything around. So I think that if this PC launch is successful, this is our best shot to take another running stab at it. And we want it. We want to take another running stab at the PS4 because it's a good game. The PS4 community will really like these changes. So, yeah, just get behind it. This is sort of the same way that the PC community had to try and get behind the PS4 launch. We're now asking the PS4 community to get behind this PC launch.
So we got destroyed.
Yeah, we sure did.
Oh man.
Oh,
Okay, guys, have a happy Halloween, everybody. Keep the game going. The next couple weeks is going to be a little bit bumpy. We're releasing some good patches and updates, and we're going to be preparing all roads lead to the free week. Free week is going to be a really exciting moment for Secret Ponchos.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in. And if you guys have any feedback or comments, just let us know in the group chat or email us at info@switchplaymonkeys.com. And what else? That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it. Stay tuned for the patch. Give us feedback.
Experian won the raffle.
Yeah, congrats. Experian.
Oh, nice.
Check your Twitch inbox in the next couple of minutes, Experian. You should have a key for the soundtrack.
Cool stuff.
Okay.
Well, happy Halloween, everybody.
And see you guys next week.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.